Landing that new job, it really boils down to one thing: nailing the interview. And yeah, it can be super nerve-wracking, but it really doesn't have to be. So today, we're going to build a roadmap to turn all that interview anxiety into interview success.
Does just the thought of a job interview make your stomach do flips? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. It's a high-stakes conversation, and feeling that pressure is completely 100% normal.
But hey, let's reframe that a little bit. An interview isn't a test. It's more like a performance. And just like any great performance, success really comes down to preparation and strategy. So today, let's build that winning strategy together. Okay, so it all starts the moment you walk in the door, or, log into the video call. Those first few moments are absolutely critical for setting a positive, professional, and confident tone for everything else that follows. A really powerful opening has just 4 simple steps. You start with a polite greeting, of course, then immediately thank them for their time. A simple "thank you so much for meeting with me" shows respect for their schedule. Next, you want to show you've done your homework. Mention that you've looked into the company and are excited to learn more. And finally, you state why you're a great fit. This shows you're not just looking for any job, you're looking for this job.
All right, so you've made that great first impression. Now it's time to handle the basics. And look, these are not trick questions. Think of them as massive opportunities, wide open doors for you to tell your story and make your case.
And then it comes, the classic opener. This question isn't just small talk, Your answer here sets the stage for the entire interview. It's your opening monologue, so let's make sure it's a showstopper.
The key here is to structure your answer like a mini story in 3 parts. Start with your past, your key experiences and successes. Then, bring it to the present by highlighting the skills you have that are most relevant to this role. And you finish by explaining where you are now and why you're the perfect fit. The big goal here is relevance. Every single piece of your story should click right into the puzzle of this job description.
Let's look at a perfect example. See how it starts with that big, confident goal, becoming a world-class accountant? And then bam, it immediately backs it up with proof, education, and 2 relevant internships. It's quick, it's confident, and it's totally focused on the job they're trying to fill. Now for probably the most direct question of all, this is your invitation. They're basically handing you a microphone and saying, all right, sell me. If you can't make a great case for why you're the best person for the job, well, how can you expect them to? So how do you nail this? It is all about alignment. First, you've got to show that you get what they need. What's the problem they're trying to solve by hiring someone? Second, highlight what makes you uniquely qualified to solve that problem. Third, show some real passion. And finally, give them a little glimpse of why you'd be a great person to have on the team. You're fit with their culture.
This example right here, it's a textbook play. It leads with strong personal traits like motivated and fast learner, then it connects them to the job, and it finishes with genuine enthusiasm. It's a great way to show not just what you can do, but also who you are.
Okay, time to level up. Now we're getting into behavioral questions. These are less about what's on your resume and way more about how you think and act when things get tough.
So what are they really looking for with these? In one word, proof. They don't want you to just say you're a great problem solver. They want you to tell them a story about a specific time you actually solved the tricky problem. They're testing your thought process, your resilience, all that good stuff.
Ah, and here it is, the one question everyone loves to hate. But listen, I promise, it is not a trap. It's really just a test of your honesty and your ability to grow. They want to see if you know yourself well enough to actually work on getting better.
So, you want to ace this one? Here's the secret sauce. Be honest, but pick a real, professional weakness. The magic trick here is to frame it in the past, and then show exactly what you've done to overcome it. The focus shouldn't be the weakness, it should be the solution. This proves you're someone who learns and adapts.
Oh, this is a beautiful example. It identifies a real, super relatable weakness, right? Procrastination. But then watch the pivot. It immediately flips to the solution. It shows that a challenge, in this case a heavier workload, forced a change, and that change created a new strength. It's honest, it's positive, and it screams, I am a person who grows.
All right, let's shift gears and look ahead. Because interviewers don't just care about what you've done, they want to know where you're going and if you're planning on going there with them.
When they ask this, they're really checking a few things. How ambitious are you? Are your goals realistic? And maybe most important of all, do your plans actually line up with the opportunities they can offer? They're trying to figure out if this job is just a quick stop for you or if it's a place you can really build a future. Your strategy is to find that perfect sweet spot between ambition and loyalty. And the best way to do that is to tie your personal growth goals directly to their company. Talk about mastering your role, about taking on more responsibility, and how you see yourself growing with the organization.
This answer is pure gold. It hits it right out of the park. It flat out states an interest and a long-term commitment. It shows confidence and a belief that great work will lead to great opportunities, right there at that company. It basically says, I want to grow, and I believe I can do it right here with you.
Okay, we've covered the opening and the main event. Now let's talk about the grand finale. How you close the conversation is every bit as important as how you start it. You want to leave them feeling confident and totally clear about how interested you are.
Your final checklist to stick the landing is simple. First, one last time, reiterate how excited you are for this specific role. Second, be direct about moving forward. Something as simple as, this sounds like a fantastic fit and I'm very ready for the next steps is super powerful. And finally, you end it just like you began, with a genuine, heartfelt thank you that leaves a professional, proactive, and really positive final impression.
Because with this strategy, with this game plan in your back pocket, an interview isn't a test to be feared anymore. It's your stage. It's your opportunity to prove not just that you can do the job, but that you are, without a doubt, the one for the job.